My dad was right. You're too cheap to deserve me. Find the $16,000 or don't show up Saturday, my fiancée snapped. 2 days before our wedding, I walked out with a stinging cheek and packed my truck. By midnight, one message proved. She wasn't. I'm Blake, 25M, union electrician in Kansas City. Been with my fiancée, Marin, 22F, for 2 years, engaged for 8 months. She does social media coordination for some marketing company. We're supposed to get married Saturday. Let me give you some background because context matters here. I grew up poor. Like actually poor. Not we couldn't afford vacations poor. But mom worked 3 jobs and we still ate ramen for dinner. Poor. Watched my mother sacrifice everything for family members who never appreciated it. Never paid her back. Always had their hand out for more. That taught me something about money. You earn it. You protect it. You don't waste it on things that don't matter. And you sure as hell don't let people manipulate you into spending what you can't afford. I saved $15,000 for this wedding. Took me 2 years of overtime, side jobs, living cheap. That's a lot of money for a 25-year-old electrician. I was proud of that number. Marin and I agreed on a modest wedding. 80 guests, nice venue but not extravagant, decent catering, flowers, photographer. The basics done well. Budget was tight but doable. Or so I thought. This morning, Thursday morning, wedding on Saturday, Marin sat me down with her laptop open to Pinterest boards I'd never seen before. Babe, I've been thinking. This is our one day. Our one chance to do this right. I found some upgrades that would make everything perfect. She showed me the upgrades. Photographer upgrade, $8,000. Some guy named Hunter Walsh who apparently does luxury editorial wedding content. Our current photographer was $2,500 and perfectly fine. Flower upgrade, $5,000. She wanted to completely redo the florals we'd already paid for because she saw something on Instagram she liked better. Videographer edition, $3,000. We agreed no videographer because it wasn't in the budget. Now suddenly, it's essential for memories. Total additional cost, $16,000. I stared at her. Marin, where is this money supposed to come from? I figured you could put it on a credit card, or ask your brother for a loan, or we could dip into your savings account. My savings account that we agreed was for a house down payment. We can save for a house later. This is our wedding. It only happens once. The wedding that's in 2 days. You're asking me to spend $16,000 more than we budgeted, 2 days before the ceremony. She got that look she gets when she's not getting what she wants. Lower lip pushed out slightly, eyes getting wet. I just want our day to be special. Don't you want that too? I want us to start our marriage without crushing debt. That's what I want. It's not crushing debt. It's an investment in memories. It's $16,000 we don't have for services we don't need. The conversation went downhill from there. She started crying. Said I was being cheap and controlling. Said if I really loved her, I'd find a way to make her dreams come true. Said her parents' friends were coming and she'd be embarrassed by a budget wedding. I told her our wedding wasn't a budget wedding. It was a reasonable wedding that we could actually afford. I told her I wasn't going into debt for Instagram content. I told her the answer was no. That's when she slapped me. Open palm, across the face, hard enough to leave a mark. Then she started screaming about how I was ruining everything. And just like her father said, whatever that means. I left. Drove around for 2 hours. Now I'm in my truck trying to figure out what just happened. Her mom has called me 6 times. Her dad sent a text saying I need to man up and provide for my daughter. Her sister posted some passive-aggressive Instagram story about men who don't prioritize their partners. My brother Rick called. I told him what happened. He was quiet for a minute, then said, "Blake, that's not wedding stress. That's who she is. You're just seeing it for the first time." I keep thinking about my mom, how she gave and gave and gave to people who just took and took and took, how she died tired and broke because she could never say no to family. I don't want that to be my life, but I also don't want to throw away 2 years over a fight about wedding costs. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe this is normal pre-wedding stress, and I should just find a way to make it work. Reddit, ATA for refusing to spend $16,000 we don't have on last-minute wedding upgrades. Am I being cheap, or is my fiancé being unreasonable? And what the hell do I do about the slap? Update 1. I started packing an overnight bag to stay at my brother's. While I was grabbing clothes, I noticed Marin's iPad on the nightstand. She usually takes it everywhere. I know I shouldn't have looked. I know that's a violation of privacy. But something felt wrong, the way she specifically wanted that photographer. The $8,000 price tag when our budget photographer was fine. The intensity of her reaction when I said no. I opened the iPad. It was still logged into her iMessage. There were messages to someone named Hunter, the photographer. The $8,000 photographer she absolutely had to have for our wedding. My hands were shaking as I scrolled through the conversation. I'm not going to repeat everything I read because some of it was explicit, and I honestly don't want to relive it. But here's what I pieced together over the next hour of reading. They've been sleeping together for 2 months. Met at a wedding expo when Marin was vendor shopping back in March. He apparently targets engaged women specifically, tells them he can capture their vision in ways other photographers can't. Makes them feel special, understood, seen. Makes them feel like their fiancé just doesn't get their creative needs. The messages were painfully clear. She wasn't just hiring a photographer. She was bringing her affair partner to our wedding. Having me pay $8,000 for the privilege of him being there all day, taking intimate photos of her, capturing our special moments, while I stood there like a complete idiot not knowing my bride had been sleeping with the cameraman for months. Some highlights that are burned into my memory. He still doesn't suspect anything, lol. Saturday is going to be perfect. You there all day, capturing everything, and he has no idea. I can't wait to see the photos, our little secret hidden in plain sight. After the reception, we can meet at the hotel. Tell him you need to get some night shots of me in the dress before I take it off. There were photos too. Things she sent him. Things he sent her. Evidence I really wish I hadn't seen. I sat on the bed for probably 20 minutes just staring at the screen. 2 years. 8 months engaged. $15,000 saved. All of it was a lie. Then I got angry. I screenshotted everything. Sent it all to my email. Then I started packing for real. Not an overnight bag, but everything. My clothes, my tools, my documents. Everything that was mine. I was almost done when Marin came home. I heard her car pull into the parking lot, heard her footsteps on the stairs, heard her key in the lock. Every sound felt like it was happening underwater. She walked in, saw the suitcases by the door, saw me standing in the bedroom with more boxes, saw her iPad face down on the bed where I'd left it. Her face went through about 6 different expressions before settling on white-faced panic. Blake, I can explain. Don't. My voice sounded strange, flat, dead. It's not what you think. Hunter and I are just friends. We have creative chemistry. Those messages were jokes. We were just being playful. Marin. I read everything. Every message. Every photo. Every plan you made with him. Don't stand there and insult my intelligence by pretending it was jokes. She started crying. Real tears this time. Not the manipulative ones from earlier when I wouldn't give her $16,000. Her mascara ran down her face in black streaks. Please, Blake. It was a mistake. I was so stressed about the wedding and all the planning, and he was there and he understood what I was going through, and it just happened. For 2 months. It just happened for 2 straight months. And you were going to have him at our wedding, taking our photos, while I paid him $8,000 to be there. I was going to end it right after the wedding. I swear. I just wanted him there for 1 day for the content. For the content. You wanted your affair partner at our wedding ceremony for content. For Instagram photos. You don't understand how important good wedding content is for my career. Hunter could have made our wedding go viral. It could have launched my whole, your career, your wedding, your content. It's always about you, isn't it? She kept talking, but I stopped listening. Finished packing, loaded my truck, and left. Stayed at Rick's place last night. He didn't say much, just handed me a beer and let me sit in silence until I was ready to talk. This morning, her family started calling. Not apologizing, demanding. Her mom said I was overreacting to a little flirtation, and that I needed to come back and work this out like an adult. Her dad said I was destroying his daughter's life, and that I owed her the wedding she deserved. I texted her mother the screenshots. No response since. The wedding is in 36 hours. I've already called the venue to cancel on my end. Marin's name is on the contracts, not mine, so she's on the hook for cancellation fees. Her family is furious about that too. Apparently I should pay since it's my fault for being unreasonable. My fault. I'm unreasonable. She's been sleeping with the photographer for 2 months, and I'm the problem. My co-worker Jamie stopped by Rick's place this afternoon. She's been through a divorce, knows the drill. She said something that stuck with me. Blake, you didn't lose a fiancé. You lost a parasite wearing a fiancé costume. Thank God you found out before you signed papers. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if I have to pay for anything. I don't know how to tell people the wedding is off without explaining why. I don't know how to process 2 years of my life being a lie. But I know I'm not marrying her. And I know that $15,000 I saved is still mine. Update 2. Wedding was supposed to be yesterday. Obviously didn't happen. I spent Saturday at Rick's place watching football and trying not to think about where I was supposed to be. Marin's family has gone nuclear. Her dad showed up at Rick's house Sunday morning demanding to talk. Rick told him to leave. He refused. We had to call the cops to get him off the property. The financial demands started Monday. Marin's lawyer, yeah, she got a lawyer already, sent a letter claiming I'm responsible for $12,000 in vendor cancellation fees. Venue, catering, flowers, DJ. Apparently when you cancel 2 days before, you lose everything. Here's the thing though. My name isn't on any of those contracts. We agreed early on that Marin would handle vendor coordination since she knew the industry from her social media job. I just wrote checks when she told me to. The contracts are in her name. My buddy at the union referred me to a lawyer who does family stuff. Took him about an hour to confirm what I suspected. I'm not legally obligated to pay a dime. The contracts are her responsibility. The deposits I already paid are gone, but any cancellation fees are on her. Marin called me crying Tuesday night. Blake, please. My parents can't afford this. I can't afford this. You have to help me. I have to help you pay for a wedding you were going to use as a photo shoot with your affair partner? I told you. I was going to end it. And I told you I saw the messages. You were planning to meet him at the hotel after our reception. That doesn't sound like ending it. She hung up on me. Here's where it gets interesting though. Hunter Walsh, the photographer who thought it was a good idea to sleep with engaged women, is having a really bad week. Remember I mentioned he targets engaged women? Turns out Marin wasn't his first victim. She wasn't even his third. This guy had a whole system. After everything went down, I posted in a local wedding vendor Facebook group that Rick's wife is part of. Didn't name names at first, just said I'd discovered my photographer was having an affair with my fiancée and asked if anyone had heard of similar experiences with vendors in the Kansas City area. The responses were immediate and numerous and devastating for Hunter. 5 different women came forward with similar stories within 48 hours. Some were other brides whose weddings Hunter had photographed. They'd felt uncomfortable with how close he got during shoots, but blamed themselves for being paranoid. Some were vendors who'd heard rumors at industry events, but never had proof. One was a wedding planner who said she'd stopped recommending him 2 years ago after a bride confided that he'd been inappropriate during her engagement shoot and had sent her flirtatious messages afterward. One woman sent me a private message. Her wedding was in 2022. She'd had an affair with Hunter that lasted 3 months. Her husband found out after they were already married. They're divorced now. I wish someone had warned me, she wrote. I'm glad you're warning others. I didn't have to do anything else. The wedding vendor community in Kansas City is small and tight-knit. Word spread like wildfire. By Wednesday, Hunter had been dropped by 3 major venues that used to keep him on their preferred vendor list. 2 wedding planning companies publicly posted that they would no longer work with Hunter Walsh Photography. His reviews on wedding sites started getting bombed with 1-star ratings and comments about unprofessional behavior. He tried to contact me Thursday, sent a Facebook message saying I was ruining his livelihood over a personal matter, and that he'd sue for defamation if I didn't stop spreading lies. I forwarded him the screenshots of his messages with my ex-fiancée and told him to have his lawyer contact mine. Haven't heard back. Marin's social media presence is collapsing too. She had about 15,000 followers on Instagram. Not huge, but decent for a local social media person. After mutual friends found out what happened, people started unfollowing. Comments appeared on her posts, asking about the wedding photographer situation. She went private, then deleted her account entirely. My $15,000 is still in my account. Minus the deposits I already paid for things, I've got about $11,000 left. That's a house down payment in Kansas City if you're smart about it. Rick asked me last night if I feel bad about what's happening to Maren and Hunter. I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I told him. She was going to have me pay $8,000 to bring her boyfriend to our wedding. She was planning to sleep with him in a hotel room while I thought we were celebrating our marriage. Everything happening to her now is a consequence of choices she made, he nodded. Good. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for not cleaning up someone else's mess. My mom used to clean up everyone's mess. She died doing it. I'm not going to make the same mistake. Final update. Been a year since everything went down. Figured I'd give you all the closure you've been asking about in my DMs. Short version, I'm doing great, better than great. Let me catch you up on everyone. Maren, last I heard, she's working at a fast food drive-thru and living with her parents. The $12,000 in cancellation fees destroyed her credit when she couldn't pay. Her social media career is done. Turns out companies don't want to hire someone whose name brings up wedding affair scandal when you Google them. Hunter dumped her about 2 weeks after his business collapsed. Apparently she wasn't that interesting once she couldn't help his career anymore. Hunter Walsh. Photography business is completely dead. No weddings, no engagements, nothing in the bridal industry. I heard he's doing real estate photos now. Houses don't have fiancés to sleep with. Multiple women came forward after my post, and while nothing criminal happened, his reputation in the wedding community is permanently destroyed. The Castellane family. Still blaming me for everything, apparently. Maren's dad told a mutual acquaintance that I ruined his daughter's life out of spite. I ruined her life. Not the affair, not the deception, not the plan to bring her boyfriend to our wedding. Me, for refusing to be a doormat about it. As for me, 6 months ago I got promoted to project supervisor. More money, better hours, respect from my crew. Turns out not being emotionally destroyed by a toxic relationship is good for your career. I bought a house, small 3-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. Used that $11,000 as down payment. Got a good rate because my credit is solid. Has a 2-car garage where I'm slowly building a workshop. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. And yeah, I'm seeing someone. Her name is Val. She's an electrician too, journeyman, same union as me. Met her on a commercial job site about 8 months ago. She was running conduit on the 3rd floor. I was doing panel work on the 2nd. We kept running into each other in the elevator. Started talking about the job, then about other things. She's nothing like Maren, and I mean that in the best possible way. Val drives a 10-year-old truck that she maintains herself. Her apartment is small but paid off early. She has 0 social media presence. No Instagram, no TikTok, nothing. When I asked her about it, she laughed and said, I've got better things to do than take pictures of my food. Union member, practical, splits everything 50-50 without me even having to ask. First time I took her to dinner, she looked at the menu and said, let's just get appetizers. I'm not that hungry and this place is overpriced. Then she suggested we grab tacos from a food truck down the street instead. I almost proposed right there in the restaurant parking lot. We're not rushing anything. Both got burned before. She had a bad divorce in her early 20s. And we both know what we're looking for now. She came over last week to help me install a ceiling fan in my bedroom and stayed to watch a movie and eat pizza. That's my kind of date now. No fancy restaurants. No Instagram photo opportunities. Just 2 people who actually enjoy each other's company. Last month we talked about weddings. Not ours specifically, just in general. I told her about Maren, about the $16,000 demands, about Hunter, about all of it. She was quiet for a minute. Then she said, if I ever get married, I want to do it at the courthouse. Use the wedding money for a house down payment or a truck or something that actually matters. I think I'm in love. Looking back, the red flags with Maren were there from the beginning. The Instagram obsession. The way she always wanted things that were slightly outside our budget. The comments about how her friends' boyfriends bought them this or took them there. I just didn't want to see them because I was in love with who I thought she was. My brother Rick said something that stuck with me. You don't really know someone until you see how they handle money and stress. Maren showed you both at the same time. He was right. Those last-minute wedding demands weren't about flowers or photographers. They were a test. Could she push me into spending money I didn't have? Could she manipulate me into prioritizing her Instagram aesthetic over our financial future? If I'd said yes, if I'd found a way to come up with that $16,000, I would have been signing up for a lifetime of that. Every purchase would be a battle. Every budget would be a suggestion. Every no would be met with tears and accusations. I dodged a bullet. Hell, I dodged a whole magazine full of bullets. And I learned something that'll stick with me forever. To any guys reading this who are in similar situations, watch how she handles money. Watch what she prioritizes. Watch how she reacts when you set a boundary. Those things tell you more about your future together than any romantic gesture ever could. Financial compatibility isn't sexy. It doesn't make good Instagram content. But it's the foundation of every successful marriage I've ever seen. Maren wanted a $30,000 wedding, an Instagram-worthy aesthetic, and a lifetime of me funding her social media dreams. Val wants a courthouse ceremony, a practical truck payment, and a down payment on something real that we build together. I know which one I'm choosing, and I've never been more sure of anything in my life.